we need to talk because so much has happened. This life update is coming to you from a hotel room in Cape Town, and no, I am not on holiday. So much has happened this year and there is so much to unpack. Like, I finally moved out of my parents' home, guys. I finally fell in love. I loved and I lost. I got some major career wins, like magazine girls or whatever. I was worried about homelessness. I was lonely. Like, so much has happened this year and we need to unpack. So let's get into it. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, this is the perfect video to watch because you're about to get the life updates of a lifetime and be up to speed with what's happening in my life. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey, thank you so much for continuing to support me, even though sometimes I'm a deadbeat YouTuber. But thank you so much for your support. Like, it really keeps me going in wanting to pursue my dreams. But we'll get into the career chats a little bit more. I hope you're doing well. I'm hoping the sun doesn't go down, so let me try get into it. I'm just going to be updating you guys on what's been happening in my life because there have been some major life changes, and in order for us to proceed in 2025 and still feel like we know each other, we need to get into the details. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first things first, the biggest elephant in the room. Like I said to you, this life update is coming to you from a hotel room in Cape Town. So cat out the bag, I moved to Cape Town. That's so funny because if you follow me on social media you would know. But yeah, that is literally the biggest life update, is that I moved to Cape Town. And not only that I moved to Cape Town, but that I moved out of home for the first time ever. Funny enough, I did think that I would move out of home sooner than I did, and this move was kind of supposed to be temporary, but at the same time I was hoping it wasn't, and I would be able to stand on my own 2 feet as an adult. And the fact that I've been able to pay rent for 12 months is something to be so proud of. Like, I'm so proud of myself. And yeah, I moved to Cape Town, guys. It's so insane. I've always wanted to live in Cape Town, so I'm so grateful to live in this city. For the longest time, every time we'd visit Cape Town, I never wanted to leave because I always felt like I belonged here. I always felt like this was my city, you know. And when K Yarms, one of my favorite content creators, moved to Cape Town, I was just like, you know what, like, this is giving me, like, it's giving what I needed to give. I need to move to Cape Town, and God made it happen. I got an amazing job opportunity to be a part of the first ever School of Influence here in Cape Town, and I was working at a marketing agency, or rather I was a part of a content creator program, first of its kind, here in Cape Town at a marketing agency. And we got to be paid to be full-time content creators, which is insane, and just to like learn more about the business and things like that. The program unfortunately was not what I thought it was going to be, but at the same time it helped me move to Cape Town, so I'm literally grateful for that above everything else. And I feel like that was kind of its purpose, like just to move me into the next chapter of my life, and everything else was just, you know, everything else. But yeah, so I'll always be grateful for that opportunity because of that. And yeah, but we're gonna get into career talks a bit later. But yeah, I moved to Cape Town. I'm loving the city. I love the nature. Look at the sun on my skin. That African sun. I love the slow pace of Cape Town. I love the international hub vibe of Cape Town, always meeting people from different parts of the world. I love how slow and easygoing it is, and just, yeah, I'm just really grateful to be in the city. And I love Cape Town. I feel like this year was very much a foundational year for me, so I don't think I got to enjoy it as much as I would have liked to, but I do know that next year and going forward I'm gonna enjoy it to the max once my money's right, you know. But obviously moving to a new city is very challenging. I was considering doing a moving to Cape Town series, so do let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, then we can get into that. But yeah, moving to a new city is very challenging. I had so many challenges, like just from not even knowing where you are. Like those first couple of nights waking up in Cape Town in a different province, in a different city, not even knowing how to get to the shops, not even knowing where's your nearest shop, you know, like trying to figure out how to get to work. And also another major life update, my car got sold, so I don't have no car anymore. And yeah, moving to a new city, I had to walk everywhere, use public transport, try and figure that out. You know, it was just a lot, but luckily by God's grace I found a place that was very close to work, so commuting to work daily was very easy. But having to learn how to use taxis for the first time, and public transports and buses and stuff, and it was just like a really like a major life change, you know. But I adjusted, got used to it. And then yeah, paying rent. Oh, paying rent is so painful. It's never not painful. Like anytime that amount of money leaves your account, it is painful. But yeah, adjusting to adulting was also tough because I've never lived alone before. I've lived at home always, even during varsity. I did go to boarding school, but that doesn't really count as living alone because it was a very structured lifestyle, and obviously we had house mothers and things like that, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, I was adulting for the first time this year, and it took a huge toll on me. And I think I tried to be consistent on YouTube, especially in the beginning, but over time it just became quite difficult because I was dealing with so much, especially those first couple of months in Cape Town. If you watch back my Dream Life Diaries vlog, your girl was going through it. So yeah, adulting was tough. Just learning how to like manage your time, because now you have so many more tasks. All the chores are on you, eating is on you, laundry is on you, everything is on you, breathing, living, like it's on you, mental health, it's on you. And trying to balance everything, your social life, your mental health, your work life, trying to be good in all areas, so difficult, you know. Trying to just ensure that everything is running smoothly. At some points I just had to accept that things are not always going to be perfect, and I just have to accept that and keep it moving, and that's just the nature of adulting, you know. But yeah, that's the major change. It was also a challenge not knowing anyone in the city. Well, I knew people, but I would say like having deep friendships, because most of my friendships were based in Johannesburg, because obviously that's where I lived, that's where I built these like sisterhood kind of bonds. And then moving to a new city and then trying to redo that in a new city was really difficult. And when you're going through one of the most challenging times of your life, you need that support so much. So not having that support system was really challenging. And it's like in Joburg, I could literally drive to my best friend's house in 10 minutes, you know, and I would have a shoulder to cry on, a physical shoulder to cry on. Obviously I can call my friends, video call them, but it's not the same as physically having people there for you. So trying to find my tribe, it's still something I'm struggling with till this day. But yeah, that was also another challenging thing about moving to a new city. But yeah, those were the challenges, but they were also the fun times. Okay, I feel like I became my most authentic self this year. Like I did not have to prove myself to anyone. I did not have to be someone I didn't think I was. I didn't have to be someone other people wanted me to be. I could just be myself. And the fact that I was a full-time content creator getting paid to create content, we'll get into what happened when I lost my job. But anyways, not lost it, but that the contract was over. But yeah, I literally like I just felt like the most authentic, most free version of myself. Like I could eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, wake up at 3 p.m. without people judging me, like wear whatever clothes I wanted, go out, like just be free, just be me. I just felt like I got more autonomy over my own life, and that was the best part of this entire experience. And that autonomy doesn't even come with like going out and partying and stuff. I think it just comes even from the little things of you getting to decide what time you wake up, you getting to decide if you want to eat supper or not, or if you just want to have a sandwich and go to bed. You know, you getting to decide if you want to go to the mall or have time with your friends without having to book those plans like 2 weeks in advance. You know what I mean? Like you just getting autonomy over your life and getting to do what you want when you want and living life by your own rules. That is something that is so liberating for me. Loved it so much. That was super fun. And yeah, just getting to experience what it would be like to live my dream life, you know, just doing content creation full time, living on my own, living in this beautiful city. Ugh, guys, I felt so blessed. Not felt, I still do feel so blessed. Sorry, I'm just checking that the sun's not going down. But yeah, I still feel so blessed, and it was just such an unreal experience. It was really giving exceedingly abundantly above all I could ask or think. God really did his big one for me. Remember, I cried when I got this job because I just knew what it would mean to me. It was so much more than just a job. It was everything wrapped into one. Like it was validation of my career, it was, you know, freedom and liberty, and oh guys, it was just so much. But I don't want to get into that. But yeah, that was moving to Cape Town. And then let's chat about work. So yeah, like I said, I got into a content creator program here. It was an 8-month program, fixed program, and yeah, guys, it was interesting. Like I said, expectation versus reality, but however, I'm just grateful that I got to move to Cape Town and, you know, make connections in the industry and things like that. But yeah, I do still have the desire of being a full-time content creator, and I'm really praying that 2025 is that year. I don't know when I'll post this. Maybe I'll even post it in 2025. But yeah, I'm really hoping that this year is the year, if this is posted in 2025. If not, next year's the year. But yeah, I really still have that dream, that goal, that desire to be in my full-time content creator / entrepreneur era. So I'm going to be working towards that until. But yeah, it was a set 8-month program, and then after that it was done, and obviously I was stressed out of my mind. That's probably also the time I did not upload much, when I kind of stopped uploading after like a month or 2 months. It's because I was stressed trying to figure out how I'm going to put food on my table, trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my rent, you know, because I could have gone back home, but I kind of just felt like I've made so much progress, you know, like I wouldn't want to go back, although I don't see anything wrong with that. Like genuinely, if you want to go back home, regroup and everything, there's nothing wrong with that. And that was definitely an option. Was it an option? I don't know, but I just really wanted to move forward with my life and really push even through the challenges, so that I can actually become an adult and stand on my own 2 feet, because I'm not going to be a baby girl forever, you know. So I really wanted to continue growing and building what I had already started. So I was job hunting for so many months, still was not finding any jobs at all, guys. I'd apply for jobs every single day. I also applied for a job at the company I was working for, or where I was doing the content creator program for. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. I was devastated, but I just kept on applying to things. I was even open to retail, waitressing, call centers, you know. Even they were rejecting me. Like, I was applying like a mad person and praying so much, and God finally answered my prayers, temporarily though, and also just in the nick of time, as God does. I had I think when I finished in September, I had obviously my September salary, so I could pay my October rent. But then what about November, December? Like, what about that? But luckily, in the nick of time, I got a job towards the end of October, and funny enough, it was a skills assessment I didn't even want to do. But yeah, I actually ended up getting a job. No interview, guys, by the way. It was a remote job for a US company, and I literally got paid enough to pay my rent for 2 months. Like, that's the God I serve. Like, I only had to work for 3 weeks because it was project based, so I only had to work for 3 weeks, and in 3 weeks I could pay my rent for 2 months. Because what? That's the God I serve. Got that job, no interview. They kept on saying how I scored the highest in the skills assessment, and it was honestly so validating, because I had been struggling to get jobs for the longest time. Nobody wanted to hire me, and I'd have interview after interview, skills assessment after skills assessment, get so close. At some point I even spoke to a CEO of a company. You know, you get to that stage when you're speaking to the CEO and still nothing came out of it. So yeah, but my God came through. But then again, that job was, I'm working. Whew, I'm so busy, child. But we're gonna get into that too. It's me chasing the sun for me. Oh guys, and my mic is broken, so I don't want to move the setup too much, but I want to be centered. Oh my gosh, what should I do? Oh, content creations, I know. Okay, let's go with this. So yes, guys, what was I saying? But yeah, it was a project-based job, so of course I was stressed again. Like, after that job was done, I was grateful. Yes, I can pay my rent for 2 months, great. But what about next year? What about January, February, March? So I was back on the job market again, you know. But my God, guys, I was struggling to find jobs since, like, I'd been looking since July, honestly, like since before my contract ended, because I knew that my contract was going to end. So I was trying to be proactive, but I wasn't finding anything. I was praying so hard, guys. I was not getting anything. I even had a friend of mine, shout out to Kabelo, she was praying with me. We were literally like, okay, 6 p.m. we're gonna pray about the situation. She was standing in the gap with me in prayer, guys. We were praying like, we were praying, and honestly nothing was moving. And then God, my God, all of a sudden in this last month, in December, I'm filming this in December, I got job offer after job offer after job offer. I got so many job offers. So the US job I had done had wanted to renew their contract with me, and they were even willing to pay me more, and to even cover the cost of what it costs to pay me in dollars, because you have to pay like a service fee when you get forex. So they were even willing to pay me so much more than I initially got. I had gotten an offer from a previous company that had said they needed help freelance help on a project, freelance help for the festive season, which is the work I'm actually doing for these next 2 months. I'm praying that it becomes permanent. I will update you. And then I got like another freelance gig for another company, and then I got this gig that I'm doing right now that has me at this hotel, which is basically like to host a group of tourists for this week that they're in Cape Town. I think the vlog of this week should probably be out actually before this video. I think I want to make this either the last video of the year or make it the first video of next year. But yeah, this trip I'm currently on right now, hosting a group of tourists, insane. Like, and I'm getting paid, by the way, to do this. So God just came with so much, and there were so many opportunities. I didn't even have the capacity to fulfill all of them. Like, I literally had to decline money, guys, because God just came and said, whoo, let me fill your cup, you know. But I'm so grateful that he came through, and he just showed me like, oh, Jehovah Jireh, like he's a provider, child. Like, he will provide the things. But yeah, that's just kind of how things are on the work front. I am enjoying this new job I'm doing now, this freelance one. It's in the influencer marketing industry, so I mean, it just makes sense, you know, because I'm dealing with my content creator life, but like behind the scenes. And it's kind of like, I enjoy that work, it's interesting, and it aligns with what I'm already interested in. So I'm hoping that something permanent does come out of it. But yeah, the goal, the dream is still to be a full-time content creator, guys. What can I say? And I'll definitely be working towards that. Like, when you see the money content creators are making, you're literally like, yeah, I gotta get on my Zoom. And I hope it's not all talk. I hope literally like I pull through. But I feel like this year I've worked hard. I feel like this year I've created a lot of content. I actually finally reached 10k on one of my platforms on TikTok, so please do follow me on there. I started a new page that was getting opportunities, my travel page. It's actually the page that got me hosting this trip this week. So I got invited as well to events, a YouTube Black event. Unfortunately I couldn't go because it's in Joburg. I'm in Cape Town and I'm working, so I wasn't able to go. Got invited to a Crocs event. Oh, that event, guys, so massive, biggest event I've ever been invited to, and it was so beautiful. The vlog is on my channel, you can go check it out. Yeah, the fact that I got invited to a Crocs event was crazy. Like, getting noticed by a brand you genuinely love and use is so, oh, it's amazing. It's honestly amazing. I'm in a magazine, y'all. Got a magazine feature, the same magazine where K Yams was the cover girl. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Your girl's about to be a star. I'm about to blow up this year. Watch my words. Is it watch my words? I don't know, but yes, I'm about to be a star, baby. But yeah, that was a major highlight for me, guys. I've always dreamt of being in magazines, and getting my first magazine feature was just so validating and so humbling. I don't have it with me here now, but yeah, that was just so validating, so beautiful. And then yeah, obviously being a part of the first ever School of Influence was another major career win for me. Being the first to do anything is just always really cool, and just so validating that people see you, they see your hard work, they see you, you know. And yeah, what else career wise? I got my first paid campaign this year. Well, I've been paid to create content before, but I would say like it was my first lifestyle campaign, and it was also like a decent amount of money. Not a lot of money, but like more decent than I've ever been paid. So yeah, I was just like, okay, there's progress here, there's progress. What else? Yeah, I think career wise that is pretty much it. I'm hoping next year, by this time next year, I'll be telling a different story. I'm hoping I'll be saying 100k. I say 100k every year. The fact that I think I'm gonna grow 100k in 1 year. But anything is possible, right? But yeah, we will see what next year has in store, but we keep on pushing. And then let's get into the juicy things I know y'all want to talk about. Let me check my notes. So in terms of my personal life, I don't know, I don't really know what to say. I think this year I've been discovering myself, you know. Like I said to you, living alone, I felt a lot more autonomy over my life, and I felt more I could be my authentic self and not like a palatable version that I create, you know, to just not ruffle any feathers. So I'm still discovering myself, and I think it's such a beautiful process of self-discovery, trying to figure out what I like and things like that. I actually even started a note in my notes app. I started a note called Dating Me, and I'm just like, you know, finding out what I like, you know. Like anytime I realize I like something, I actually write it down. So it's kind of like, okay, I like these types of movies, this genre, I like this type of music, I like these drinks, I like this food, oh, I like these kind of podcasts, da 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 da, you know, I'm discovering me and I'm actually writing it down and stuff. And maybe if anyone wants to get to know me, Sana, I'll just send them that note, because I'm tired of talking stages. I'm tired of getting to know people, guys. I would need a husband and kids. Okay, not need, but I would like to be in my family era. I really do desire to be a wife, to be honest. I know I'm still young, like a lot of people, are you so young? Yes, I am young, but the streets ain't for me. The streets ain't for me. I would really love to be in my settled down wifey era, you know, not like right now, but in the sense that I just want to be intentional towards being with someone I can see myself being with for the rest of my life. Like, I'm just too grown for games and all of this funny business that people want to do, because I actually have a vision for my life, you know. I have a dream life that I want to build, and I thought, God said, you thought, because I thought, you know, that was going to be the case for me. Not that I was going to get married this year, but I thought that, you know, I had met someone that I could see myself being with, you know, for the rest of my life. But unfortunately that didn't work out. But at the same time, I'm just, you know, let me not get emotional. But yeah, at the same time, I'm just really grateful for that experience, guys. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I feel like I finally fell in love, you know what I'm saying? In my life updates, I'd always say like, oh, I'm open to dating. Oh, okay, I'm open to whatever, you know what I mean? But this year, I feel like I genuinely was open, and I'm grateful that I got to experience something like that and got to see that, wow, I can actually feel this way about someone. And for it to just give me hope that, you know, hopefully there are still some good men out there, you know what I mean? And hopefully there's still a husband out there, guys, because you're this generation, it's a lot. But yeah, I had such a beautiful experience, and I wish it didn't have to end, but you know, life is like that. And it wasn't even anything dramatic or crazy. I think that's also sometimes the sad thing, when things end, when nothing bad particularly happens. Like, it's not necessarily that that person was bad, but it's just that the circumstances just don't allow, like some external circumstances, you know, just don't allow for things to work, and some also inner circumstances, internal stuff, and you know, just things out of your control, you know what I mean? So it kind of makes it harder sometimes, because it's not like anything was bad. It's like, oh, this was such a good, great thing, and letting go of a good thing is so hard, it's so painful. But it's also like, it is what it is, and you just, you know, gotta trust God. And speaking of trusting God, I feel like I'm in a better place with my faith this year. This year really tested my faith. Like, yo, I say I have faith in God, I say I trust God, but do I really? Like, until you have to depend on God like a parent, I feel like your faith is not really being tested. But until I had to depend on God literally for my daily bread, like, you know, my rents, you know, like serious stuff, like when I didn't have a job, and I just had to trust and have faith that my time in Cape Town was not over, and then God made a plan at the last minute, you know. My faith really grew very deeper this year. In the beginning of the year, I feel like I had a bit of a wilderness season, and just like, it was so rough, so challenging. I feel like I was losing my faith. I felt like I was getting so far from God. I felt like I was even struggling to get back, until I just made a decision to get back, you know, or at least try. And yeah, that was the best decision I ever made. I went to the Activate conference. Sarah Jakes Roberts and her husband Torrey Roberts were in SA. They came to Cape Town as well, and on that day I just felt different after that Activate conference, and I just felt like, you know what, I really need to get on fire for my faith again, and I just really need to push. And so I sought out to do that, and I feel like I'm deeper in my faith than I've ever been before, you know. Like, I was reading the Bible every now and then, listening to worship music more. I actually find myself gravitating more to worship music than secular music. It's not even on purpose, it's just naturally happening, you know. I find myself being a lot more patient as well. I find myself noticing things about myself that, you know, I need to work on, reading my devotional, reading the word. And you know, I find the Bible, well, I used to find the Bible boring and sucky and all of that, but actually being in a place where I can read and understand and pray for revelation and actually just get things from the Bible, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, wow, I'm like, wow, you know, there's actually some tea in these pages. So yeah, I'm in a good place in my faith. I do still want to find a church that I can kind of be like my home church, but I think it's also just tricky because, like, I don't drive anymore, and so I feel like my options are limited because I'm not in the financial capacity to Uber to church every day, every Sunday, every week. There is a church nearby I can walk to, but I didn't really feel it, and I don't know if that's a good thing or what. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. I had enjoyed going to church in my previous situation, but that church is like far from me. Guys, it's a lot. But yeah, I'm just trying my best to hold on to my faith. God has been so good to me, so faithful to me. Even when I was not good to him, he's always been good to me. So God is just so good. Like, I can never stop talking about the goodness of God, you know. Speaking of which, since we're talking about careers and new projects and stuff, I've always wanted to have a podcast. Like, I've literally always wanted to have a podcast. And so I actually thought of a concept that I wanted to start, like a faith-based podcast where we just talk about anything and everything, but it is faith-based, so a lot of it would be based on faith, you know. But yeah, I don't know, I've kind of also been talking myself out of it. It's funny because I've recorded a couple of episodes, and I don't know if by the time this video goes up they would be up. I don't know if I'm ever gonna post them. Like, I really don't know. I kind of just feel scared, you know, and just unqualified to do a faith-based podcast, because it's just like, who am I, you know? And I don't want to be judged more harshly as a teacher. I don't even want to be a teacher of the word or whatever. Like, I just want to share my experience, you know. I just want to share my real authentic experience of God, you know. I think a lot of Christianity content just makes you feel like an outsider sometimes, because you feel like you have to be this perfect person who does the right things all the time, who reads the word for 5 hours a day, who prays for 2 hours a day, and who whatever. And I just want to show or talk about how, you know, Christian life is just, to me, you know, like personal to me, how it is to me, and just generally, and what I'm learning, and just take people on the journey of trying to go from lukewarm to being on fire for God, you know, and just a more real authentic journey. But yeah, I don't know if I'll start that podcast or not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see, only time can tell. But yeah, that's basically my personal life. Friendships, like I said earlier, most of my friends are in Joburg and in Cape Town. I'm trying to build and form new friendships, and that is like quite difficult, you know. It's hard to nurture new friendships, especially when you don't have money. I think that's another thing that kind of just stops me from really going in too deep, because I know how it feels to, I don't want to say friendship outside of your tax bracket, but like, I've been in a situation like in varsity. I went to a private university, and you'll try and be friends with people, but when your friends want to go out and do this and do that, like, you can't do it, you know what I mean? And I hate that feeling so much, and I don't want to find myself in that, excuse me, situation where, and it's not like your friends are putting you under pressure, but it's just in order to nurture and build a friendship, you need to spend time with people. And because you guys are not close at that level yet, it's not like you guys can just go into each other's homes and spend time in someone's house the way you would with your best friend or whatever. So you need to go grab coffee, you need to go to an event together, you need to do stuff to build that friendship, you know. And I just, you know, financially I'm not at that capacity right now, you know. But my friends have been there for me. My friends have been so good to me. Even the friends I have made in Cape, friend is such a tricky word though, because yeah, it depends on how strong people see it. But yeah, the people I've met in Cape Town are so sweet and so nice, and they've been so kind to me, you know. And people will cover for me sometimes, and people will be there for me as much as they can, but you just don't want to always be that person, you know. You don't want to be a burden to people, and maybe that's me projecting onto them, but yeah, I don't want that. But hopefully next year things are better, when my money's up and I have a permanent job, God willing. Please pray for your girl, okay? But yeah, I think that's pretty much it on personal life. I don't know what else. Let me see. Not me getting distracted. It's me being so distracted right now. Okay, no, let's finish this video before the sun goes. Let me move. I told you guys my mic is broken, right? It just fell. It's a lot. Me fell. Please stay. Please stay. Okay, yes guys, the sun is doing a lot. But yeah, last things last. Is that a thing? I don't know. But basically, that's my life update. Moved to Cape Town, loved and lost, chased my dreams, going to continue chasing my dreams, fell from God's grace, got back up into God's grace, was blessed, was challenged, you know, the ups and downs, the highs and lows of life. But just my reflections on the past year, I honestly would say I've had a great year. As much as it was the most challenging year I've ever had in my entire life, it still was a great year because so many amazing things happened. Like, what do you mean I got to move to my dream city? What do you mean I got my first magazine feature? What do you mean I got to be a part of the first ever School of Influence? What do you mean I got paid a monthly salary to be a full-time content creator? What do you mean I got my first paid campaign? What do you mean I reached 10K on one of my platforms finally? What do you mean I made so much money in 1 month? I made more money in 1 month than I ever made the whole year, or I could have made, actually, because I had to turn down other, opportunities because of capacity. But God showed me that He is indeed real, and I can make that money, and I will make that money all year next year. Like, the era, broke girl era, is done. It's finished. It's gone. I declare and decree I will never struggle financially again. Like, I'm tapping into the riches of God's glory. I'm tapping into that abundance, okay? Because no, honey, I paid my dues as a broke hun. I paid my dues, and now it's time for me to get on the soft life package 2025, okay? But yeah, this year was so challenging but so rewarding. I really learned that big risk, big reward. Whatever the life you are dreaming of is on the other side of fear, literally. And I understand that quote so much more deeply now. It's not like I wasn't afraid to move to Cape Town. For the most part, yes, I was excited, and it's something I've always wanted, but there were definitely fears there. I didn't know how things were going to pan out for me, especially knowing I was on a fixed contract. I didn't know what would happen after that contract. I didn't know if I would get a job or not. I didn't know how I was going to pay rent. I didn't know how I was going to feed myself or adults. I didn't know how I was going to survive in a new city without a support system. I didn't know if I was going to chase my dreams and fail and have to go back home embarrassed. I did not know. Like, I was just putting one foot in front of the other regardless of the fear. You have to do it scared. You have to just go for it, because the life you're looking for is on the other side of fear, for real. That thing that you're afraid of might be the very thing you need to do to take yourself to the next level. And so this year was great for me. Challenging, but great. This year I really lived in the duality of life, and I learned that things can be equally good and equally bad at the same time. And just because things are bad does not mean you're not grateful for the good. And just because things are good does not mean that they can never get bad, But it's just about learning to go with the ebbs and flows of life and just dealing with whatever you have to deal with in that moment. A verse I really liked that I feel like can kind of sum up my year is that I've learned to be content with what? I don't know how the verse goes, but it's something basically about, like, I've had little and I've had much, and I've learned to be content either way, because that's God's wish for us, to just be content. And you know what, this year I feel like I also learned contentment. I didn't find myself envious as I used to be, when I would see certain things or compare myself to other people. This year I really learned to be content, and I can see certain things and be like, oh, that's so cute, that's so nice, I wish I could have that. But even if I don't have it, it's okay, and I'm so grateful for that, because I used to really struggle. And I've learned, obviously, big risk, big reward. Chase your dreams. You really only have one life. Like, you have to at least try. You literally have to at least try. Even if you don't make it, even if whatever, at least go down knowing that you tried. Do you know how many people just wish, they could just actually live their dream lives? And that's something I really recognize, and I'm going to continue working towards building my dream life. Hard work does pay off. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't. But even this opportunity now to host this group of travelers here in Cape Town, all expenses paid, and getting paid to do it on top of that from my travel page, which only has less than, like, I think it has like 600 and something followers right now. But it just showed me that success is where preparation meets opportunity. Just continue posting that content, continue doing what you're doing. You don't know who's watching. In those 600 followers, there might be that one person that's going to give you a gig or give you a job. You don't always need 100,000 people to follow you to get opportunities. Sometimes you just need the right people to follow you. And I think that's also my prayer going forward. Like, God, connect me to the right people. Not necessarily many people. Yes, great, enlarge my territory, make me great, but connect me to the right people. That's the most important thing for me. And yeah, I just learned a lot, and just that there's good things out there, and you can experience good things, and you do deserve it all. You do deserve to be happy. And yeah, man, I learned so much this year. Like, I can't even I can't even say it all. I learned so much, but looking into next year, I'm really just excited to continue chasing my dreams. I hope you'll continue to be on this journey with me until we make it, okay? Until we make it to the top, until we're also on the highest ranking lists, until we're also making the most money from campaigns, until we're also being flown out by brands. I'm speaking all of these good things into existence, and I'm also going to work for them. But yeah, I hope you'll stick around on this journey. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to next year. Hopefully we'll find love eventually. I think maybe towards the end of the year or so. Like I said in the beginning, I really do desire to be in my family era. I do want to be a wife. I do want to be a mom. I do want those things for myself, you know. And so I hope next year's a boss baby. Like next year 25, like I want to be the best version of myself, guys. Like I want to get sexy. I want to start working out. Y'all better look out, watch out. I want to start, you know, taking my content. I have been taking my content creation seriously, but next year will be 5 years of me doing content creation. And so I really hope that 5 is just like a massive takeoff. Like I hope it's insane. I hope the blow up is just unbelievable. Like it's just like, where did this girl come from? You know, she's getting 4 brand deals in a week. Like she's getting flown out. Like her AdSense is 50k. Like that's really my dream, guys, and I have to work towards that. So next year really is a selfish year for me, a really heavy focus on myself here. But yeah, I'm hoping that after that year is done and I've had the necessary alone time, I do hope that maybe the following year I will be married. Guys, people can get married in a year. Hey, what God cannot do does not exist. I can meet the love of my life in January 2026 and be married by September 2026. What God cannot do does not exist though. I can still be a 2026 bride. But yeah, I just, you know what, I just wish nothing but love for myself. Like I want a life I love and a life filled with love. Like I want a life I love, doing the job I love, with people I love, traveling to places that I love, like just love all around. I just want a life filled with love, a life well lived. I don't want a settled for life. I really want a life where I wake up in the morning and I'm excited for life because I'm like, wow, I can't believe I get to call this my life. You know what I mean? That's always been my dream, guys. Always been my dream, and I think it will always be my dream until my dreams become reality. So I hope 2025 is that year for me, and I hope it's that year for you. But yeah, that's all I had to update you on. I hope that this was enough, more than enough, for you to get some context into what's been happening in my life, why I've been MIA, why I've been a deadbeat YouTuber. But I'm gonna try my best to come back, to be consistent, to be that girl for y'all. You know what I mean? Like I can't let down the people that are supporting me. Like if not for me, then for you that's supporting me. I need to do it big, okay? But yeah, that's all that's kind of been happening with me, and I just hope that everything works out for me better than I imagined, better than I expected, better than I could ever ask or think. I'm really praying and exceedingly abundantly over my life, over your life. I'm really just praying that God does bigger than what you even thought possible, you know? That's really what I'm praying for. And I'm praying also for the courage to be able to be that person that can, you know, have that kind of life and to be comfortable in being that person, you know. But yeah, that is it for my life update. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got to know me a little better, got to know about my life a little better, and you feel a little bit more connected to me. Please do stick around. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video so that we can grow to 100k this year. It's me and this 100k number. I'll be saying it every year until it comes true. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Have a fantastic 2025. Bye.